Hello and vanakkam, I'm Chennai Singapenne, Akshita Nandagopal, back to where I belong, in the city of Chennai. The last few weeks, every day I've been getting you the latest reports from the ground to get you a sense of how this election is going. What I also noticed on the ground during my travels is that there's a campaign that's picking up speed. A campaign to free Tamil Nadu temples. From who and why? We'll be addressing that. I got an exclusive conversation with the Isha Foundation founder Sadhguru on this topic. He tells me about why he started this kind of a movement that's now got over 2 crore people supporting this campaign. Here's an excerpt of my conversation. Which was the moment you decided that, look, there's a need for us to come together and begin this campaign to free, to save temples?
See, this has been on our mind. I'm not a very temple-going person. But wherever there are powerful consecrations or there is, a tremendous sense of architecture and engineering, I do go once in a way. But then UNESCO gives a report saying Tamil Nadu temples are in a serious state of decay. They're being massacred. This is the word they're using, massacred. You cannot ignore the word massacre, all right? And then Tamil Nadu government itself submits in the High Court that 11,999 temples, that is 12,000 temples, there is no puja because they don't have the money. Like this, many facts came out, 37,000 temples are earning less than 10,000 rupees per year. Now everybody asks this question, okay, who will take care of it? Who will take care of it? You don't ask that question to any other community, you don't dare to ask that question to any other community. First, tell us the intent. Yes, we want to do this. You say that. We are not so impractical, tomorrow hand it over. No, it's a long process because it's a complicated process. Nobody understands the full scope of this. We have to slowly go at it. But do you think we cannot come up with a process?
But,
at least admit this. The process that you are doing right now is a disaster.
So you're saying that's the first step that needs to be taken?
First thing is, they have to say this, all I am asking is just this. First thing is, whoever wants to win this election, first thing say this, that we will appoint an external audit. For me, audit is not just about property and money. For me, the audit is also the condition of the temple. Whether it's alive or not, is a puja happening or not, entire audit, external audit, not government audit. Do this. In the first 6 months you must do this. In the next 1 year, you form a commission of responsible people in the country, people who are constitution experts, people who have necessary responsibility, people who are engaged in the Hindu community. Appoint a commission which will start examining how the devolution of temples should happen to the community. In my opinion, it may take 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter. Let the process start.
The DMK in its manifesto, to a lot of people's surprise, has mentioned temples, has said that, we'll allot a certain amount of funds for the development, for the betterment of temples. What do you make of that?
See, I've already articulated the wealth that the temple holds. When the see, you take my wealth and then you say, you will give me a salary. I don't want your salary. Please, leave my wealth. My wealth means this wealth belongs to the temple, it must be belonging to the temple, it must be used for the temple's well-being, not for something else. No, we will use it for welfare, it's become fashionable to say this. Welfare temple will decide what they want to do, because it's their wealth.
Sadhguru, what's very clear also is that this is not limited to one political party, that perhaps for too long now, every single government that's come in has ignored this issue.
No political party is free from this. No political party is free from this. Wherever they are in power, they're doing the same things. It is not against a political party. This is not against anybody. This is for humanity.
So what would be your appeal, with days to go for the elections, from political parties this election season? What would you expect from them to ensure that, that the temples are resurrected?
I will repeat the numbers, because election is a number game. Right now, over 2.15 crore people have expressed their support for free Tamil Nadu temples. Your electorate is little under 5 crores. We will see that more support comes in, it's building up right now. In the next 3-4 days, it'll easily cross 3 to 3.5 crore support. I'm asking the political parties, are you going to ignore the wishes of 3.5 crore people and run the government? Is that the way to run the democratic process?
Thank you very much, Sadhguru, for joining us. And you can catch that full conversation with Sadhguru on his movement to free Tamil Nadu temples this weekend. Let me also get you some other stories that I've been tracking across Tamil Nadu. Through these last few weeks, I've been getting you stories about culture and heritage that's inherent in this state. I visited Thanjavur, a town that's known for its temples and also for its artisans. You've got people who are employed there in making the beautiful Tanjore or Thanjavur paintings, which most of us here in South India know so very well, and most of us also own in our homes. I also caught up with some other artisans, those who make beautiful clay Thanjavur dolls. What's their plight? I find out in this report. The town of Thanjavur has tradition written all over it. And even in the hustle and bustle of our election coverage, we dropped in search of some colourful traditions. Thanjavur's handmade crafts have for long been a big attraction for tourists. But because of the pandemic, the tourist footfall had dried up, spreading concern and hardship among the artisans. You'll find this kind of a painting in almost every single South Indian household, and that's because it's hugely famous. I'm sure you've heard of the Tanjore paintings or the Thanjavur paintings. This is Raghavan. Every day he sits in this corridor painting these beautiful Thanjavur specialties. The subject of Thanjavur paintings are mostly Hindu gods and goddesses. Saints and religious texts are painted. In some instances, other figures from other religions and belief systems do find a place in these paintings.
15 by 12 size, 15க்கு 12. அது எடுத்தாக்கா மினிமம் 10 days ஆகும். ஆக்சுவலி இந்த வுட்டு அது ட்ரெடிஷ்னல் முறையில் பண்ணேன்னா 10 நாட்கள் ஆகும். அதுலேருந்து கோல்டு குந்தன் ஸ்டோன், கோல்டு ஃபாயில் எல்லாம் கை வேலை தான் அதில்.
But Thanjavur is not just about paintings. It's also about making dolls, an art form here that may be slowly dying out. Thanjavur dolls are completely made by hand of clay and paint. It's a skill passed from generation to succeeding generation within the family. But the doll makers say that this could possibly be the last generation to hold on to the craft of their ancestors.
நான் 42 வருஷமாக பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கேன். இது எங்களுக்கு பரம்பரை தொழில். நான் இதை 5வது தலைமுறையாக நான் செஞ்சுட்டு இருக்கிறேன். எங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்ச இந்த தொழில் தஞ்சாவூர் தலையடிப்பு மட்டும்தான் நாங்கள் அந்த அப்பாயிலேருந்து செஞ்சுட்டு இருக்கிறோம். ஏன்னா வருமானம் கம்மி, அதனால் எங்களுக்கு இந்த தொழில் விடாமல் நாங்கள் செஞ்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். அடுத்த தலைமுறைங்கிற போது எங்களுக்கு செய்கிறவங்களுக்கு யோசனை பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கிறாங்க.
The artisans of Thanjavur are hopeful that this election will usher in a government that will look into their plight. They want the powers in Chennai to save their dying crafts. Without government patronage, they say a day may soon come when the traditional crafts could only be of historical interest in Thanjavur. With video journalist Shivamurthy, Akshita Nandagopal for India Today. And I'm slipping into a short break here on the special broadcast. Do stay with me. Coming up on the other side, we're focusing on Kerala as Gopi and we'll be getting you some very interesting reports, particularly one on the weaving community in Kerala. Welcome back. Let's get you a sense of what's happening on the ground in Kerala. My colleague Gopi has been out getting you the latest ground reports. He spoke to the very important weaving community in Kerala. You've seen Gopi walking around, reporting in the traditional mundu. He visited the community that makes the mundu as well.
Election campaign strategies may evolve over the years. But in Kerala, what remained the same is the traditional attire of all the male politicians, dhoti and shirt. So it is that during election season, the demand for the dhoti actually skyrockets. Proof of the undeniable truth that the male politician still outnumbers their female counterparts by a massive margin. However, despite the demand, the practice of making these traditional handloom attire is slowly vanishing from the face of Kerala. On the outskirts of Thiruvananthapuram, there is the small town of Balarampuram, known as the handloom village of Kerala. But the town, where once everybody was connected to weaving, now has less than 500 actual weavers. It is in this quaint little town that we meet Selvam. She says she has been weaving for more than 50 of her 68-year-long life. Now, with creeping old age and health issues, she can hardly finish one dhoti a day, and she says that hardly earns her much for her efforts.
ഒരു മുണ്ട് ചെയ്താൽ എനിക്ക് ഇപ്പോൾ 100 രൂപയിലകത്ത് കിട്ടും. നൂല് എല്ലാം നോക്കി വരുമ്പോൾ 100 രൂപ കിട്ടും. ഒരു മാറ്റവും ഇല്ല. അന്ന് ഇന്നും ഇങ്ങനെ നെയ്തുകൊണ്ടേ ഇരിക്കുന്നു. ഒരു പൈസ ഒന്നും സമ്പാദിക്കാനൊന്നും നോക്കില്ല. ചിലവ് കഴിഞ്ഞു പോകും. ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു മുന്നേറ്റമൊന്നുമില്ല.
We also meet Ratnam, a homemaker who weaves on the side. When asked about the elections, she did not know what to ask from the politicians. But she seemed upset that the government does not think about the welfare of the weavers.
സാധനമൊന്നും എടുക്കാൻ വരുന്നു. ഏതൊരു സാധനമൊന്നും എടുക്കില്ല. ജോലിയില്ല. അന്ന് സമയം അതേപോലെ തരുന്നത്.
Unlike Ratnam, Mohanan is very clear about his political preference. He feels that no other leader can match Pinarayi Vijayan and that his government should continue in Kerala.
ഇപ്പോൾ പിണറായി സർക്കാർ തള്ളിപ്പറയാൻ ഒരു മനുഷ്യനും പറ്റില്ല. മനുഷ്യത്വമുള്ളവൻ തള്ളിപ്പറയില്ല. ഈ 5 കൊല്ലം കൊണ്ട് പിണറായി സർക്കാരിനെ തള്ളിപ്പറയാൻ ഒരു മനുഷ്യത്വമുള്ളവന് പറ്റില്ല. ബാക്കിയില്ല, മനുഷ്യത്വം ഇല്ലാത്തവർക്ക് എന്തും പറയാം.
Mohanan says he too has been weaving for over half a century now. And despite the large number of women involved, he is proof that men too can weave. But there is a difference. His speciality in weaving is not the dhoti, but the sari. It seems Mohanan, for one, might have been happier if there were more women campaigning in these elections. Because then, like the dhoti, the demand for the sari might also have skyrocketed.
Elections is what we do best here on India Today. We've got our entire team out on the ground to tell you the poll pulse and get you exclusive conversations. Besides Gopi Eaton in Kerala, Rajdeep Sardesai was also in the state earlier. He had an exclusive conversation over a meal with Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, particularly on the BJP factor this election.
You know, what is interesting, Mr. Chief Minister, is that the number of times I am hearing now Kerala versus the center. And even in the campaign, Amit Shah targets you and you also are targeting Amit Shah. Has the BJP become a factor in Kerala? Who's your main enemy today? The BJP or your main opponent? BJP or the UDF?
ദേശീയ തലത്തിൽ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഒപ്പോണൻ്റായിട്ട് വരുന്നത് BJP തന്നെയാണ്. കാരണം രാജ്യത്തിൻ്റെ മതനിരപേക്ഷതയും ഭരണഘടനയും തകർക്കാനുള്ള നീക്കങ്ങളാണ് അവർ നടത്തിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. രാജ്യത്തിൻ്റെ സുരക്ഷയ്ക്ക് തന്നെ രാജ്യത്തിൻ്റെ മതനിരപേക്ഷത സംരക്ഷിക്കൽ പ്രധാനമാണ്. അത്തരമൊരു ഘട്ടത്തിൽ BJP പ്രതിദാനം ചെയ്യുന്ന ആശയങ്ങളെ ശക്തമായി എതിർക്കുക എന്നത് ഇടതുപക്ഷം എപ്പോഴും സ്വീകരിക്കുന്ന നിലയാണ്. കേരളത്തെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് BJPയെ ശക്തമായി പ്രതിരോധിക്കുന്നത് ഇടതുപക്ഷമാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ BJPക്ക് വലിയ തോതിൽ സാന്നിധ്യം ഉറപ്പിക്കാൻ കേരളത്തിൽ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല. ഇവിടെ BJP സ്വാധീനം ഉറപ്പിക്കാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞില്ലെങ്കിലും കഴിഞ്ഞ തവണ ഒരു സീറ്റ് BJPക്ക് അസംബ്ലിയിൽ കിട്ടി. അത് കോൺഗ്രസ് സഹായിച്ചതുകൊണ്ടാണെന്ന് എല്ലാവരും ഇപ്പോൾ അംഗീകരിച്ചു. കോൺഗ്രസും അംഗീകരിക്കുന്നു, BJP അംഗീകരിക്കുന്നു. ഞങ്ങൾ സഹായം സ്വീകരിച്ചു. ഞങ്ങൾക്കന്ന് വോട്ട് കിട്ടിയില്ല എന്ന് അന്ന് സ്ഥാനാർത്ഥിയായ ആളും കോൺഗ്രസിൻ്റെ UDFൻ്റെ സ്ഥാനാർത്ഥിയായ ആളും പറയുന്നു. ഇവിടെ കേരളത്തിൽ UDFും LDFും തമ്മിലുള്ള മത്സരമാണ് സാധാരണ നടക്കാറുള്ളത്. അത് തന്നെയാണ് ഇപ്പോഴും നടക്കുന്നത്. എന്നാൽ BJPയെ ഞങ്ങൾ ചുരുക്കി കാണുന്നില്ല. BJPയുടെ ആപത്തിനെ ശരിയായി തന്നെ കാണുന്നു. അതിനെ കൃത്യമായി തന്നെ പ്രതിരോധിക്കുന്നു.
And that's all we have time for in this special broadcast. Thank you very much for watching. This is Chennai Singapenne, Akshita Nandagopal signing off.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.